An amazing year of game releases turned odd in the last half, pumping out stuff I feel like I've seen before. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below, but first, my opinion. I'm Tarmack, and this is Feature Creep. The biggest releases this year are almost all sequels, and fortunately most of them are pretty decent. However, I noticed something of a trend that has me a little on the disappointed side. The year started off so strong, but ended with what I consider the most average smattering of games that has happened in recent memory. By average, I simply mean that very little really slapped me upside the face with its awesomeness at the end of this year. Just Cause 3, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Need for Speed, Fallout 4, Black Ops 3, Transformers Devastation, I was looking forward to each of these games. With hype and past games, I had hoped that we were going to see some revolutionary new things. The problem with that hope, unfortunately, was that I was actually really disappointed with all of those titles that I mentioned. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that any of them are bad games. Point of fact, they're all good, fun games. But it's entirely possible for a game to be both fun and disappointing at the same time. I think that the reason I was disappointed is amusing, frustrating, and rather simple. I was struck by the thought that I'd played all of these before. Take a look at Assassin's Creed Syndicate, same AC formula with weak GTA vehicles and a Batman grappling hook. Fallout 4, it's Fallout 3 in a new area with better looking lighting but not revolutionary graphics. Just Cause 3 had the ridiculously huge world and was looking great, but after an hour or two of blowing up red things it got stale, and it removed a number of excellent features from Just Cause 2 and didn't replace them with much other than the tether. I'll grant that the tether is great, but not enough to make or break a game. Transformers Devastation is basically Bayonetta 2 with worse graphics. In the general sense, a lot of people were looking forward to all of these games and more, but were not stunned and amazed by any of them, including both consumers and games media. Just going through the motions, and that is a disappointing thought. I myself have fallen into the same trap. I've enjoyed Fallout 4, but is there really anything special about it over Fallout 3? No, I can't say that there is. If you're into the base building, I suppose it could be exciting, but I'd rather spend time out exploring the wasteland killing raiders than putting together a base with the UI Bethesda put into the game for building. It could have just as easily been an expansion, not a sequel. I felt the same about AC Syndicate. I played that game before. It was good for sure, but I knew that I had played it before. Obviously, scores cannot be used to measure all things, but they are an interesting indicator that very little surprised and excited the industry in this second half of 2015. Game journalists who have to play anything and everything were obviously not impressed, as one would expect. And yet, it is still one of the strongest years for gaming in a while, especially when compared with last year, which was trash. I wonder if that's part of the reason that records are being broken with good but not amazing titles. People just wanted something, anything, because last year was so bad. Makes you wonder if the industry can pull off the same thing next year. I'd be willing to wager that the answer to this is no. The unfortunately painful realization in all of this, however, is that innovation is not necessarily the marker for success, and we've seen countless examples of that before now. But earlier in the year we had games like The Witcher 3 and Bloodborne which genuinely felt brand new and exciting, iterating dramatically on previous experiences to craft that feeling of newness. Despite its faults, I hear extremely good things about at least the first 2/3 of the Phantom Pain in this regard as well. And even though I'm not a fan of review scores, having just dumped them from my reviews, you will note that those 3 games are 3 of the 4 new games, not including re-releases or DLC, that got 90s this year. The 4th game is Undertale, which I still have yet to play. Whether you like review scores or not, games that get 90 plus are pretty universally considered good to great games, and I tend to agree. I'm still hopeful on a number of fronts going forward. While we have games like Dark Souls 3, which looks like a very pretty and fun but ultimately reasonably similar version of the previous games, we have other titles like Overwatch, which is a completely different experience than other games we have now. Far Cry Primal gives me hope that by removing many of the familiar technological elements that we have in games, will instill that sense of newness despite the nagging from my shoulder that it'll just be a prehistoric Ubisoft the game. I have high hopes for Hitman, The Division, Yooka-Laylee, Mass Effect Andromeda, Star Fox Zero. I wish Quantum Break was coming to PC so I could play that one. Hell, I even look forward to No Man's Sky so I can start saying I told you so. And I know it's not a new thing, but I just have to say how badly I want to abuse the Day of the Tentacle HD remaster with my mouse. Not every game needs to be on the bleeding edge of innovation, but they do need to inspire a sense of newness in the player. There are so many good games this year, but so few of them stand out as the amazing, new and wonderful experiences that many gamers hope each generation of game will be. I've been feeling the overall concept of I've played this game before a heck of a lot more over the last few years. I'm sure that some of it comes from simply playing tons of video games where not everyone has that luxury, but a good portion of it is that iteration in games seems to be slowing down in many respects. The large publishers appear to be even more risk-averse. With VR stepping out of the gate next year, and a few big budget Kickstarters on the horizon, maybe we'll get lucky. So what games this year that you played felt like genuine new experiences, even if they were sequels? Let's chat about it in the comments. Feature Creep is a regular show every week. I always appreciate likes, subscriptions, and when people share these around, but most of all, I just like that people watch and chat with me about the topics. That's all I have to say. Tarmack out.